Next, I'd like to have you respond to the racial upheaval that we've seen throughout our nation over the past, part of 2020 that's come about thus far. I feel like people, they're either 100% siding with BLM or all the way to the other side of they just don't quite know what to do without getting rocks thrown at them. So they're just not saying anything. How is God calling Christians and church leaders to respond? It's a real issue. It's a massive problem. How do we respond?
So there are two sides to it. There is the issue that we need to talk about and confront, and there is what radical activists are trying to do with the issue. I wrote back in 2016 in an article that we need to separate Black Lives Matter from the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't even refer to it anymore as the Black Lives Matter movement. I just refer to it as BLM because of its radical roots, its radical feminist roots, its Marxist roots, its anti-God, anti-Christ, anti-Bible, anti-family roots. And by the way, as of yesterday, if you go to the BLM website, the official site, and click on what we believe, that page is not available now.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gotten so much flack for just saying what it was. So you have activists, the Antifa and the others joining together to bring chaos and anarchy to our society, to make all police the enemy, to make all authority the enemy, and a lot with the goal of just getting rid of Trump. So it's politically driven, it's destructive, it's anarchist, it's not doing any good, and it's really not helping Black lives overall. On the other hand, you have an increasing awareness in the culture that we still do have a legacy of inequality in our country, that there still are clear vestiges as a result of centuries of slavery and segregation, that Blacks don't start with a level playing field as whites throughout America, on average. Now, it could be because of government policies, the democratic policies of welfare, which are meant to help those hurt. We can discuss that. We can ask questions, why is it still on average that a Black man gets a higher sentence, a longer sentence for similar crimes than a white person? Just questions like that. Try to sit down and understand. So as I've listened to many Black Christian friends over the years and then callers to my radio show, I realize that as much as we're on the same page with loving God, loving one another, and wanting America to be a great country for everyone, that things don't always work out like that. So let's talk, let's understand, let's share experiences. I've never been racially profiled. I never had to have a discussion. My wife and I never had to talk with our daughters when they got to be teenagers and we're driving up, about how you interact with police and so on. Otherwise you could be in trouble. And yet, if you grow up in Black America, that's probably a conversation you had. So let's find out why. So let's exploit this moment in a good way, not burning down buildings, but not necessarily going along with every narrative. In other words, there are people that get celebrated by the left and that become martyrs for the cause that actually were caught in the midst of a crime or, trying to kill police and they got killed. But let's choose our heroes carefully, but let's recognize that there are issues and that racial divisions remain deep in certain parts of America in certain ways. Let's have our conversations and let's see what we can do together, especially as the church, to set a model for racial reconciliation and where we see inequality to work against it. So let's ignore the radicals, the extremists, and let's do what's right in the sight of God, taking hold of this moment.